Hey guys, I'm Abz.
And I'm Fio.
And today
we will be talking about some of the things we regret. Well, not really regret, but some of the things we wish we knew when we were young. Before we dive in, I would like to just point out that these aren't just the things that didn't work for us. If it worked for you, then that's fine, but these things didn't work for us.
Before we start the video, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn your post notifications so you guys be alerted
whenever we post.
And yeah,
let's dive in. You guys, I'm gonna kickstart this by saying one of my biggest regrets and something that I wish I didn't do was worry and just having a constant fear of failing. When you're young and you get married, you have this extra pressure on top of things like you have to prove people wrong. Especially with our situation, a lot of people didn't want us to get married and stuff. So to me, it was like the constant fear. Whenever something, a disagreement or we're going through a hardship, whatever it is, I would always have that constant fear inside me saying like, oh my god, was my family right? Was this person right? Oh my god, maybe they're right, maybe we're too young, maybe we can't handle this. Like, I just wish I didn't have that constant fear of proving myself wrong, like doubting myself, like, oh my god, am I really too young? Like, is this too much for me? That's one of my biggest regrets. I wish I could, you know, just forget about that, and I wish I focused more on, you know, solving my problems.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So one of my regrets is, I guess, when you get married at the age of 18, you know, I knew that there was a lot of responsibilities, but I didn't know it. Like, I didn't know how much responsibility I knew.
Were you like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, so society, obviously, you're a man. So people view it as, you have to provide for your wife, you have to give her everything you have and everything you need. You know, you need to give your wife everything, I guess. And even if it's materialistic things we're talking, yeah, financially and everything, but that comes with pressure, obviously, from a young age. So I always tried my best, I guess, to provide for my wife. And I feel like, obviously, I never did enough. And I guess that's just the person I am. Being young and getting married young, it kind of, I guess, stopped me from providing as much as I wish I could. And also, like, the problem with getting married young, I guess, you always compare yourself to others. So you see yourself and you see other grown men that provide for their wives, and I feel like I've always compared myself, which was a big problem. And I guess that's why I always tried my best to, like, you know, to give you everything I wish I could. But that's why there was days where I would always look at myself and be like, you know, I'm a failure, like, what? You know, like, I'm failing at being the man I wish I could. No, honestly, I feel like that was the, you know, the one regret I have, being married young and not having to give you the things that I wish I could.
Yeah.
So.
And I would add this right now because I just realized I just regret not seeing that, you know, you was trying your best, and I just wish at that time I could tell you, you know, I know you can't give me all that and you can't give me the world and you can't give me this, even though I would love to have the world with me, but I wish I could tell you, like, you're doing okay, like, it's fine. I wish at that time we talked about these things because it does affect you a lot. And I wish I realized, and I wish I could tell you that you're doing such a good job.
Yeah, but one thing I would say out there is never compare your relationship, never compare your marriage to anyone else's, because your marriage is completely different to everyone else's.
Yeah. I would say one of my biggest regret was to just, again, compare myself to others a lot. I would do that a lot because at the time I got married, and then everyone around you also gets married. I don't know, once you get married, I feel like a lot of people around you get married. It's just, you start to notice who gets married and who doesn't. I got to have a wedding, and I always just used to be like, I wish I had my wedding, or I wish I did this. I would just look around and compare myself to, like, other people that are getting married, and I would be like, oh look, oh, her husband did this for her. I would always compare myself to, like, you know, other people.
Yeah, I feel like comparing yourself to others is like the worst habit, because,
and you do it straight away from, you know, as soon as you get married.
I feel like it's the worst because, you know, it affects you, man, like physically, mentally, emotionally. Like, it gets you as well. Like, I'm not being rude, but as a woman as well, I can tell, like, it's not easy.
Yeah, like, one of my biggest dreams when I was a little kid was, you know, to have a big wedding and all that. And then we decided to get married young, and even though we tried our best to, like, make that dream happen, but it was just too much at the time for us to bear. You know, we put so much pressure to just be like, oh yeah, look, we're having a wedding, oh, that girl had a wedding, I have to have a wedding. So I feel like the day I just stopped thinking about, oh, I need to save up for my wedding, or we need to do this for our wedding. That's the day I actually realized, you know what, I don't care if Halim or Saeed is having a wedding. I don't care. Like, this is not our main focus right now. Our main focus is other things, and I just put that as, I took that as #1 priority and put it at the back of my list. And that's when, you know, I started realizing, you know what, actually there's bigger things to worry about than waffling. But I was just so embarrassed to just not have a wedding.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
I was just so embarrassed.
I feel like that is probably going to be like common for everyone. Like comparing yourself to others. I think it's, I think everyone does it, whether you're married or not. You know what I mean?
And then again, it's like, you're young at that time. Like, now I don't care. Like, I don't know, now I don't even think about what you have or what that person has. It's just, I'm just so focused on me and, you know, getting to where I want to be. But before, I just wasn't focused on that. Yes, I wanted to get there, but I would look at the people that got there before me and I'll be like,
yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
you can't help it. But I guess with maturity, you start to realize, you know what?
There's more than that.
Just work on yourself. One advice, work on yourself. You want to get there, take yourself there. Don't look at who got there. Don't look at who's making their way. Don't look at who's past it.
Another thing I wish I guess didn't do or try to not do at the start of my marriage was, you know, in our culture, I guess there's a big taboo of, you know, men who have feelings, you gotta keep it inside. That is a big problem for me, you know, and I guess for other men out there, because in our society as well, people feel like men should keep it to themselves, and whatever, you know, bad feelings they have inside and whatever bad energy they have inside, they keep it to themselves. And I feel like that's a big problem, because, you know, these bad energy, these bad vibes can create conflict between you and your wife. Who knows, the next day you can explode. Like, you know, hiding these emotions, these feelings to your wife and to the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life and devote your whole life to, I guess that's a big problem, because like, you should be, I guess, communicating and expressing every sort of feelings that you have to your wife. And I'm not a man because I've just admitted my feelings and I've just cried in front of her, and I feel like that's probably one of the most beautiful things about marriage, is just like expressing your emotions together without there being judgments. It's just you and your wife. This is one of the worst advice I've taken from someone. I don't know, what do you have to say? What do you have to say about that?
I can't believe that, you know, there's some people's mentality that believe that, oh, don't, because maybe you guys have, you know, experienced it in your family. You look around and, you know, the man is not supposed to, you know, show that he's hurt. The man is not supposed to share that he's got worries in his head, or if you hurt his feelings, you know. Even forget about feelings, even little things like, you know, financial problems or any problems, it's like, hide it from your wife, you know, you're the man, take care of it. Forget about feelings. Feelings are natural. They need to be expressed, they need to be there.
Yeah, probably one of the best things I kind of realized sooner than later, because if I kept it all inside 3 years later, I don't know what would have happened. But, you know, expressing your feelings is probably one of the most important things in a relationship, in a marriage. I feel it's beautiful.
I agree with you, and I feel like you are one of the, you know, the best of best men out there for, you know, being a man and saying today and showing the youth that it's okay to have feelings, you know, and I'm so proud of you.
Air kisses.
This one is a funny one, I'm gonna lie. Are you ready for it?
Yep.
I know it's a shock, but whenever I would have to tell someone that I didn't know that I was married, I would feel embarrassed.
You were worried what they would think, or is it because...
Not because of that. It was more of because of the questions that would follow naturally. Especially from a non-Muslim perspective, it was like, whoa, what bombshell did you just drop? Like, you're 18 and you're married? What the hell? And like, people would be like, are you sure you're married? I'm like, I don't know, but last time I checked I was. And straight away, one of the questions I would get from a non-Muslim perspective was it arranged? Like that look of, go on, you can tell me, was it arranged marriage? Were you forced?
You know what, I've actually had that. Someone said it as a joke, but I could tell that they weren't joking, like they were actually being serious. Is it arranged?
Love, are you social services? My regret is to, you know, be able to own it the way I own it now. Yes, I was married. Yes, Boo. Yes, Sally. Yes, Beth. Yes, Margaret. I'm married, so what? That kind of stuff. I just wish I could own it as much as I own it now.
Makes sense, makes sense.
High five. Too slow.
Yeah, but I haven't...
Hold on. Give me a minute. I didn't say high five yet. Okay. Too slow.
Fella, you didn't even say high five yet.
High five too slow.
Okay, this one, guys. This one is basically getting marriage advice from those who are not married.
Oh, from those that are divorced.
No. Okay, no. That's fine. Okay, at least they participated in a marriage. Yeah, right. They participated in a marriage, but at least they were in a marriage. Okay.
Yeah.
They can say, okay, you know, I wish I'd done this, I'd done that wrong.
Yeah.
This one,
Yeah.
I've never been married to them.
And they're giving me advice.
And they're giving me advice.
Oh my god, I'm like, you're pissed.
I don't understand, yeah. But the reason why I say regret is because I've tried to digest the information. I've tried to digest the information that they've given me. So
Was it before you got married?
when they heard that I'm getting married, I'm going to get married, and then people are giving me advice like, boo, 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 boo. I'm
Do
like,
this, do that, do that,
I'm
do
just
this.
like, it's like a gun. Like honestly, that's
my
how
God.
I felt like if you're giving me a marriage advice, and you're not married, it's like not being rude, but you have no place to say anything about marriage, if you know what I mean, because you haven't experienced anything and you haven't done anything, and I feel like that's probably one of my biggest regrets, was actually trying to digest all of that information and trying to implement those in my own marriage. Like,
I would love to end this video by just saying, I wish someone told me this when I was younger, yeah? So I'm gonna tell you this: if you're young and you wanna get married, or old and you wanna get married.
Hey, there's nothing like, oh, we're just honey bunny.
Oh, if you're, you know, mature.
That's
if you're, if you're mature and you wanna get married, I'm gonna give you the advice I wish someone gave me. This works for my marriage, you should do that. Never listen to that, because whatever works for Sally or for Halimo, it ain't gonna work for you, Bethany. I don't know why I have these names, but it's not gonna work for you, and I wish someone told me that. Like, love, that works for them. Let me find out what works for me.
Anyways, guys, before we end this video, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you guys for 80,000 subscribers. You have to do the 0.
Actually. 81.
8.
It's 81.
I'll just say 80, okay, please.
Okay.
Thank you so much for 80,000 subscribers. Honestly, guys, we love you so much. And for those who are new, thank you and welcome to the family, innit?
Welcome to the family.
Also, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn your post notifications so you guys be alerted
whenever we post.
And as always, guys,
Bye bye. Ciao.